All right, hello everyone. I think you all can hear me just fine here on your 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. I hope you all are already having such a great day, but we have to break down at least one more day of the heat, and I am monitoring the Facebook chat, so if you all have any questions throughout the broadcast, make sure that you drop those comments in the chat there. Hope you all are having a great day. Hope you all have had a great week so far as we have been dealing with the heat. Today we're going to call it a weather impact alert day since it is a holiday, and I know a lot of us plan on being outside celebrating the 4th. You definitely want to be cautious and be careful as we get ready to deal with the high temperatures later on this afternoon. So we are under a heat advisory right now lasting through 8 p.m. So previous days this week, the heat advisory has expired at 7 p.m. But again, since today is a holiday and a lot of people will be outdoors, we have the National Weather Service has extended that heat advisory until 8 p.m. tonight. So again, stay safe, start hydrating right now, and the impact will be those heat index values up to 110 degrees. So between 105 and 110 is what it could feel like as we head out the door for our afternoons. So you need to hydrate, drink plenty of water, stay in the AC if you can, or if you are at home by the barbecue grill, make sure you dip indoors at least for a few minutes, or rotate who is going to be on the grill today, because I know we got some grills fired up for the 4th of July. And if you are outside, maybe in the pool or even getting ready to enjoy the fireworks shows that will take place tonight, apply as well as reapply sunscreen to protect you from those UV rays. Again, today we are under a weather impact alert day as we deal with high temperatures. Right now, current time is 12:17, and we're already in the low 90s for Waco, Temple, Killeen, Marlin, and Gatesville, and across all of Central Texas into the Brazos Valley. We're seeing these temperatures right now in the low 90s. It's 92 degrees in Waco as well as Temple and Marlin, and feeling a lot hotter than that. Those feels like temperatures already up to 100 degrees near Fairfield, Mexia, Centerville, as well as near Hearn. As we continue into our College Station area, looking at the upper 90s. Same case for much of Central Texas as well. Gatesville already feeling like it's up to 100 degrees. And again, that's only going to climb as we head through the rest of our Thursday. Again, that's why you see the icon is different here today, a weather impact alert day, as we're getting ready to deal with high temperatures for the afternoon and evening. A forecast high expected at 100 degrees today, and we have seen that for our Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Not much is changing for Thursday either, and we're already feeling like our forecast high near Gatesville. Comanche right now feeling like 102, feeling like 103 in Hillsboro. And I know we're used to the heat. I guess I wouldn't say we're not a stranger to the heat here in Central Texas and in the Brazos Valley, but today the difference is a lot of us will be outside, or at least plan on being outdoors. But luckily, we are getting some winds out of the south as well. Those south winds are pushing in up to about 12 miles per hour in Marlin and Temple. So the wind is giving us a different feel. It's not as hot, and again, that's because of that southerly flow, but that southerly flow is also bringing in a lot of warm air, so it almost just feels like hot air is blowing around. But if you are in a nice shaded area, then that will be the difference. So maybe try to set up in the shade, or maybe get a tent if you do plan on being outdoors. That will bring you plenty of relief from the heat. But again, our heat safety tips needs to be top of mind for our 4th of July holiday. And luckily, I'm so happy to say this, that we're finally getting away from the triple digits after today. And that's because we're going to see rain return in the forecast through the weekend due to a cold front system. And then into next week, we could see rain being influenced by Hurricane Beryl. But here's our live view outside in Temple right now. Absolutely beautiful. We got blue skies across the area. We did see some clouds present earlier, but they have now cleared up, and we can expect mostly sunny conditions. Absolutely perfect perfect holiday weather for us today. And again, not a drop of rain in sight for our Thursday, so we're going to be able to see beautiful fireworks as clear conditions remain through the rest of the afternoon, evening, and into our Thursday night. Again, I know those barbecue grills are already fired up. Happy 4th of July once again to everyone. If you can hear my voice, I hope you all are celebrating in the right fashion. But remember, it's going to stay pretty warm throughout the afternoon, evening, and even when night falls, we're still talking mid to low 90s across the area. So over the next few hours or so, we're going to see those low 90s, how we are in most of the area right now. Upper 90s for 4 p.m. as well as 6 p.m. And in between that noon hour and 4 o'clock, that's when we'll hit that high of 100 degrees. So if you are out between lunchtime and into about 4 o'clock, again, that's when you want to make sure you're staying the safest. But again, you see that weather impact alert icon still present because we're still under a heat advisory through lunch, 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. this evening. The heat advisory doesn't expire until 8 o'clock today. But here's a check of your fireworks forecast for you as we are celebrating the 4th of July. Beautiful fireworks will be lighting in the sky, and as night falls into that 8 p.m. hour, again, that's when that heat advisory will expire. So no longer under that heat advisory through the rest of the night. But again, we're not going to see temperatures drop off or get any cooler there, but we will be able to see beautiful fireworks shows that take place tonight. And if you are going out to experience the fireworks, make sure that you are staying safe and leaving it up to the professionals, not trying to pop any fireworks, definitely not directed at anyone. I want you all to stay safe and have a very happy and safe 4th of July for us all. And again, temperature wise, we're going to see temps drop off through the night, but it's still going to be very warm out there. Luckily though, as we head into next week, that will be the difference. Now, here's your update on the tropics as we're still tracking Hurricane Beryl as it moves past Jamaica now and moving towards the Yucatan Peninsula. Here's a view of Hurricane Beryl over the last 36 hours. The name is very fitting because it barreled through the Atlantic, it barreled through the Caribbean Sea, and now it's barreling towards the Yucatan Peninsula as we keep our eye on this hurricane that could potentially bring some rain into our forecast as we head into next week. So here's that satellite imagery of what Beryl looks like right now. It's just to the east of Georgetown, to the west of Georgetown, I should say. You still see that pretty well defined eye there on this hurricane. And as we're tracking it, you see how massive it is. It's a very large storm, so those outer rain bands, even if you're not near the center, still could be bringing rain as well as heavy winds and storm surge to these areas or islands that are near it. And that could be our problem as we head into next week, that if Beryl re-strengthens in the Gulf of Mexico, it could potentially bring us some rain as well as winds across portions of central Texas and into the Brazos Valley. So we're going to look ahead to the future to see where Beryl is expected to go based off model data right now. And we're going through at least Sunday as it enters closer and closer to the coastline of Texas. You see, we're stopping here on Sunday morning, and as of right now, it doesn't look as large as it did on the satellite imagery, but again, we have to wait and see if this storm will re-strengthen or how much energy it could potentially lose as it is expected to impact the Yucatan Peninsula tonight. But it doesn't look like it's slowing down. It's still a Category 3 hurricane right now, expected to make landfall in the Yucatan Peninsula as a Category 1. Headed into the weekend is when it will enter into the Gulf of Mexico, and then as we head into our Sunday morning, again, that's when it could be right on the coastline of Texas. Now, this is the cone of uncertainty that you kind of see, like that washed out looking clear, if you will, color there. The cone of uncertainty is showing that at least the outer portions of the storm could make its way into southern Texas and possibly even seeing rain and wind into our area. That's what when I mentioned that the storm, even though it may impact landfall at a certain area, is large enough to bring impacts to us. And again, our greatest impacts will be the wind as well as the rain. So we're not going to be directly impacted here by the eye of the hurricane, but we could definitely get some of those outer rain bands. And you've seen how large that storm is. So it's not out of our realm to see some rain into next week due to the Hurricane Beryl. But Luckily, hopefully by the time it makes it here, it will begin to lose some strength and lose some energy. So we're not talking Category 5 hurricane strength winds or rain, but still possibly a Category 1 as it makes landfall just to the southern portion of Texas into Mexico right there. But currently right now, it's moving west-northwest at 18 miles per hour with max sustained winds of 115 miles per hour. So again, it is a Category 3 hurricane. It has downgraded. It did make it up to Cat 5 hurricane strength with max sustained winds of 165 miles per hour. But now we're going to take a check of our spaghetti plots. These are more model data spaghetti plots because it looks like spaghetti noodles there as you've seen those models moving into Texas, and you see a lot of those models now pulling the storm more north than south, and that's because there's an upper level jet that will be present that could help pull the storm towards the southern coast of Texas. And again, portions of the rain bands could move into central Texas and into the Brazos Valley. You see those spaghetti models, some taking it all the way far north, but most of them are staying just on that southern portion of Texas. So again, rain is possible into next week. We're definitely going to have to keep our eye on Hurricane Beryl as it enters into the Gulf of Mexico by the weekend. And we have marked off 3 names on the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season list so far. We started with Tropical Storm Alberto, historic Category 5 Hurricane Beryl, and we also seen Tropical Storm Chris that developed last weekend and moved into Mexico, and it dissipated quite quickly. So no impacts to the U.S. from Hurricane Chris, but the next name up on the list is Debbie, and we could see some potentially tropical development into next week or possibly by the weekend. But right now, the disturbance that is in the Atlantic has about a 20 to 30% chance of development. So development still remains low for that disturbance that is in the Gulf, in the Atlantic right now, that could potentially make its way to the Gulf. We're just going to have to keep our eye on hurricane season. And we already marked off 3 names, and it's only July now. Hurricane season officially started on June 1st, will officially end in November. And we know that we are in a historic hurricane season already just based off Beryl alone, but peak hurricane season is not until September. So we already marked off 3 names already. So hopefully by September, since we already had a pretty active start, hopefully it'll calm down. But we are expected to be in an above average season this year as well. So still get those hurricane preparations in place. Even though our greatest threats will be rains and winds, you just never know. So it's always best to prepare, gathering non-perishable food items, water bottles, candles, flashlights, anything you may need, because if we're talking winds could still get very strong and knock out power, and it could rain for days on end that could cause flooding, and then you could potentially be in your home and not able to go on the streets or drive to the stores. So it's important that you start stocking up on these things. I'm not saying go wipe out all the grocery stores, but just preparing that hurricane safety kit again with those non-perishable food items, water bottles, flashlight, candles, anything that you think you may need in your emergency kit, medicine, shoes, something to keep you safe, and maybe even a generator in the event that we could potentially see more hurricanes enter the Gulf. Again, it's very early in the season now, and we have a long season ahead of us over the next several months as well. So that was your afternoon update. Again, it is the 4th of July. I know all of you all are probably getting ready to celebrate if you're not out already. I thank you all for joining me so much. I'm taking a check here of the chat really quickly. I don't see any questions or comments, but of course you can join me once again at 6 News at 5 for another breakdown of your 4th of July holiday temperatures and see what it's feeling like outside before you maybe go dip into the pool or run off to the fireworks show. But that was your update for now. And again, no questions in the chat here as I take a look of that. I'm going to wish you all a happy 4th once again and have a great rest of your day. You all stay safe.